there! Wise Dragon here. So I've had a bunch of people asking me to do another Q&A type video, so I'll oblige you because I want everyone to get to know me better. I'll answer a bunch of questions proposed to me at the end of the video, but first I'm going to run through the Tmi Tag Question challenge. It's 50 random questions that cover the basics of who I am as a human being, and if you feel like taking part, I challenge you to do the same. I watched B.F.G Gaming First's video on the subject and thought it was a great idea, so he tagged me to do it, and here we are. I'll leave his channel link in the description because he's an awesome guy and you should definitely check out his channel. So without further ado, let's do this thing. I'm currently in sweatpants and an Adventure Time t-shirt. My fashion sense doesn't even register as fashion. I'm in love right now with a beautiful woman who loves me very much and won't stop licking and biting me, so yeah, it's great. Many. My ex used to Google map me and do all sorts of creepy shit. And it wasn't out of love either, it was because she had trust issues, and because she was also batshit crazy. I think I'm just over 6 foot, but I'm lanky as hell and my hair probably adds an extra foot on there, so yeah. I haven't checked recently, but I'm lean, like I said, so not much, probably about the same as a family bag of Skittles. Yeah, I got some stars for some reason, I forget why. I got my zodiac sign on my wrist, my mother's name on my heart, and my initials on the back of my neck in case I forget my name. I used to have that bit between my bottom lip and my chin pierced. I don't really know what that bit's called, but I lost the stud after a week. That's about as far as I'll go when it comes to putting holes in me. OTP? I don't know. OTP? I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to dignify it with a response. Of all time? The Simpsons, but right now, the Game Chasers, because I can't get enough of that shit. Shit, that's a good one. I mean, you've got Nirvana, Led Zeppelin, The Who, Pink Floyd, Queen, Guns N' Roses, The Rolling Stones, Chili Peppers, and the list just goes on and on and on. The good old days when being a gentleman was considered a virtue, and watching the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and shit like that on a Saturday morning. I mean, who am I kidding? I still do that now. How can you mend a broken heart, but by Al Green, not by the Bee Gees? I'm 27 years young, so I'm probably old enough to be your dad. Or your daddy, depending on your preference. I'm an Aquarius, you know, the water carrier, the lamest one. Aside from the vain prospect of good looks, I mean a good sense of humour and an openness of the mind. That's what matters to me. It's all shits and giggles until someone giggles and shits. That is a tough one. I mean, jeez. Probably De Niro? For all intents and purposes, yeah, De Niro. Green all the way. Love me a bit of green if you know what I'm saying. I guess it kind of depends on what I'm doing. I mean, if I'm working out or something, I want some death metal or some hard house to get me pumped, but, you know, when I'm taking a shit or something, I'll put on some Tom Petty or something like that. I go to my happy place, and you don't want to know what goes on there. Who says I shower? Who says I get up in the morning? Yeah, plenty. I mean, the first ever fight I was in, oh yeah, it was some guy I thought I hated back in primary school. I mean, he was a bit of a bully, but he was a nice guy really overall. I mean, I put a bin on his head, and he almost punched my block off for it. I like to be in control, so handcuffs usually do the trick. How can I put this eloquently? Nasty shit breath. To make videos about playing games and to entertain people, and somewhere down the line make a living out of it and work at my own leisure doing something I love. I fear nothing, except maybe some kind of bug that lays eggs in my brain, boa constrictors. Serious answer, I watched 50/50 again recently, and having known someone who went through something similar, that film really brings out the tears for me. My girlfriend's in Italy right now, and I'm making sure I tell her as often as I can so she doesn't run off with some European Lothario. That, and because I love her, of course. Well, I'm an idiot with a lot of experience, so that's where the wise comes from. And I'm from Wales, so that's where the dragon comes from. Hence, Wise Dragon. Agent 6 by Tom Rob Smith. Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield, again. Oh, it was that Stranger Things, all in one sitting I might add. It was pretty good. A very nice lady called Susan who works for the Inland Revenue Office. I mean, you gotta keep your taxes straight. My boss at work, it's a mutual one I guess when he's not drunk off his ass. Pizza, next question. Definitely Japan, although I like pining for Japan. I get the feeling longing to go there might be better than actually going there, but I could be wrong because I've never been there, so yeah, Japan. That's pretty broad and also vague. I mean, my bathroom. Kate Beckinsale. Oh, ever since I saw her in Serendipity, I was like, fuck yeah, that's wife material. And then she was in Underworld and I was like, double wife material. Does a cat count as someone? Oh, that's fucking pathetic. Someone called me a cunt flap while I was walking down the street the other day, and that's pretty creative, but they were pretty intoxicated and wearing a shirt with a collar up. Plus I might have started it by calling him a fuckboy douchebag, so... Lime, because actual limes taste like shit, so it's all the more special. I can attempt a bit of the saxophone, and I'm learning the piano, or trying to at least. I only have one bit of jewellery, and that's my pure silver Lord of the Rings ring. Nerd till I die and all that. Football, or as you Americans like to call it, Mexican football. Last song I sang... I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly. No reason why. I need to watch Space Jam again, actually. Did you fall from heaven? Because your face is all kinds of messed up. Yeah, I have, and guess what? It's worked more than once. You'd be surprised how many girls in clubs find being flat out insulted a redeeming quality. I got to hang out with some old friends the other day. We went out to a nice country pub in the glorious sun and ate some of the best burgers I've ever had. It was great. You, that's who. You should do this too. But if I had to pick someone in particular, I'd probably go with the Iron Sheik. I mean, that guy's got an answer for everything. Fucking bullshit! So there you go, that's the TMI Tag Question challenge done. Now let's answer some of your questions. Hooray! Our first question this week comes from none other than B.F.G himself. When I saw your channel, I wondered to myself, now this guy came into YouTube prepared. I want to know how you came up with your overall theme because it's very well put together. First of all, thank you, but in all honesty I kinda winged it and came up with ideas as I went along. I dabbled with YouTube in the past, because this isn't my first channel. I had one called Spoofzilla, and I learnt a lot from that experience in terms of editing and Photoshop, even though that channel was pretty garbage. I think the time I spent the most on was the name of the channel and the logo, because I wanted it to be unique, but I'm adapting all the time. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Sir Royston Trot asks, shoe size? Nah, I know what you're getting at here, Mr. Trotters. I know the correlation between big feet and big dicks, but just to check the authenticity of such a claim, I delved a little deeper into the matter. Turns out in a study of 100 males, men with the same size shoes can have varying lengths of member, while men with different size shoes can have roughly the same size member. So it's all a myth according to these studies. This proves I'm well endowed regardless of my size 10 daps, and that I've probably wasted a bunch of time talking about dicks when all you wanted to know was how big my feet are. But hey, you learn something every day, right? Next up is Eagles Brinks. Sing Here I Am by Asking Alexandria on your Q&A.
No!
Infinite Duo asks, what's your favourite jelly bean flavour and what's the worst? Green apple and popcorn tied the #1 spot, but rotten eggs by far the worst. Actually, earwax comes a close second. ADJ Plays wants to know, what are the 3 things that you absolutely must bring with you in case of emergency? Earthquake, fire, etc., anything you want. I'm assuming you mean what 3 things I'd save from said disaster, so I'll roll with a house fire. My wallet and my phone will probably be in my pocket, so all my old photos, because I always take pride in looking back on how much of a wreck and subsequently more of a kick-ass human being I was back then. Second thing would be my Darth Vader poster signed by David Prowse and James Earl Jones, because that shit's priceless. And the last thing would probably be the cats, I guess, because I imagine they'd be dumb enough to kill up to the flames just because they're warm, so I'd have to, really. Screw everyone else. And finally, Mariovulator, that's a good name, asks, are you going to answer this question? Yes. Yes, I am. Before I sign off here, I just want to say another big thank you to everyone who subscribed and commented and liked and just generally been a part of what we're doing here. We hit over 150 subscribers about a week ago. Glorious! And we're going to ride that momentum all the way to 200. Your continued support means a lot to us. In fact, it means everything to the channel. So again, thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. Expect loads more content, including a bunch of horror-related thingamajigs for the month of October. And keep sending us questions because we're more than happy to answer them. Like this video if you liked it, and as always, for more rants, news, chats and reviews, subscribe to Wise Dragon. You'd be wise to do so.